Hi, I'm Chase Golan, and this is Rugby. Rugby was started in Rugby School, England, where William Webb Ellis, one of the school's students, picked up the ball while playing a game of soccer. He was preceded to be tackled by a host of other players, and rugby was born.
Rugby is played by 15-player teams. The teams are made up of two sets of players, the fronts, who are larger and can test for the ball in scrums, rucks, and mauls, and the backs, who run the ball more and occasionally kick. Players play both offense and defense, and possession changes multiple times in a series without stoppage of play. Play is continuous for two 40-minute halves, where the game is stopped only for penalties or if the ball goes out of bounds. The game is started by a drop kick that must go at least 10 meters.
In rugby, there is no passing the ball forward. If you move the ball in a forward fashion at all, your team is penalized. There are various forms of penalties, and the opposing team sometimes has the chance to choose what the penalty is. One kind of penalty is the scrum, where all the forwards lock together and push against the other team's forwards for control of the ball. There are also two kinds of penalty kicks. The opposing team can either try to kick the ball through the uprights for 3 points, or kick the ball to the other side of the field, which is similar to a punt in American football. If the ball goes out of bounds, the opposing team tosses the ball through the center of two formations of forwards, where each team lifts their man to try to catch the ball and throw it to their players.
Leading the forwards is the hooker, who hooks the ball back to the scrum half during the scrum. The two props are always next to the hooker to help push the scrum. They can be easily compared to a lineman in American football. Two locks help push the scrum and tend to jump in the lineouts. Flankers line up outside the props in the scrum, but tend not to push as much. Flankers' main job is to come off the side of the scrum to tackle opposing players quickly. Last is the number 8 man, who drives the scrum in the direction it needs to go. Leading the backs are the scrum half and fly halves. The scrum half gets the ball out of the scrum and ruck, which is a fancy term for the pile of tacklers vying for control of the ball after a tackle. The fly half coordinates strategy and is the kicker of the game. The center is the all-arounder of the team, bursting through small gaps in the defense and providing stout tackles against the offense. Wings are the fastest players on the team. They work to get around the defense for long scoring runs. Last is the fullback, who watches in the backfield for the occasional breakaway.
Scoring is very similar to American football, with some small differences. A try is worth 5 points. To score a try, the ball must be placed on the ground on or over the line of the opposing team's try zone. Teams score 2 points when they convert the try with a kick. The kick is placed adjacent to where the try was scored, so tries placed in the center of the try zone are easier to kick into. Players can also score if they kick the ball through the uprights while the ball is in play, which is worth 3 points. Rugby teams are made up of players from that country. Each national team is made up of club team players who can play at a higher level. Some of the best teams in the world include the New Zealand All Blacks, England, and South Africa. The worst teams tend to be the United States, Uruguay, and Spain.
Rugby has contributed to a multitude of spin-offs. Rugby League and Australian Rules Rugby are two of them. The most popular spin-off in the United States is American football.